do the pledge. Go over there this time. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's get this thing going. See if we can whip it out here, Fred. Just for the people at home, Ernie Wilson is on the phone, so he can make comments.
Tell Ernie I'm here.
Ernie, Fred's here. He says hi.
Hi.
So, Fred, now that you're back, because you weren't here the last time, I need a motion to approve the minutes from August 27th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Man, I second it. And we both say aye.
Aye.
So that one's done.
Aye.
And then I need a motion for this one
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
from August 15th, 2019. And I second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And Ernie, we can't approve the September minutes because by phone, you're actually not allowed to vote, but you can listen and you can make comments, and so we'll deal with that one next month.
Okay.
Old business, hiring update for the chief. Where we're at on that, we received 9 applicants. I talked to HR today. They said they think they're probably going to whittle that down to 4. They're still in the process of calling their references and verifying all the information they got, but right now it looks like there's probably going to be 4. They would like to set up a time to speak with us, so we need to schedule an executive session, either Tuesday or Wednesday next week, preferably 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know.
Does that give us enough time to get that in the paper? I thought we had to do a 6 or what am I?
Is it 48 hours? And if we set it tonight, maybe we can get it in Saturday, so.
The best I could give you with work the way it is, Tuesday at 4 o'clock. I looked at your email and
Okay. Does that work for you, Ernie?
I'll be in the area at 4. I'll be there Tuesday afternoon, but later than that.
Later than that? There's no chance you can do
But I can
Wednesday?
go any Wednesday or any other day.
Wednesday at 4, I'll just try to make it work.
I appreciate that, Fred. Wednesday at
Well,
4.
that'd be nice.
Yeah, we'll try to do it Wednesday at 4 o'clock, which also gives us the Wednesday paper, so that helps.
Okay.
Did HR give you any kind of time frame?
On which part?
Well, there are different parts. Have they got
Right,
a timeline?
so the Wednesday at 4 o'clock, what we'll be doing is going over who the 4 applicants are. We'll be setting our questions that we want to ask for the interview and how the scoring works and all that stuff.
So you're
And
saying
then
they should already have it whittled down by next week?
they should already have it whittled down by next week, so then we can actually start scheduling the interviews. So we can get the ball actually rolling here.
Sure.
So that's where we're at on the police chief update. Any questions?
No, that's good.
All right. And then, Kevin, what do you got?
Well, it looks like you got old business, new business. Do you want it all now or all later?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. First thing I've got is about the new hire. Kyle is starting, he's on nights right now in his second rotation of the FTO. Once he gets, we're doing 1 week days, 1 week thirds, and then he'll go to seconds with Lindsay, who will be his primary, and do the final evaluation of him. And then I'm hoping 2 to 3 weeks we get him on the road, just depending on how he's doing in the FTO program. Talked to both the guys at the academy, they're doing fine. Everything's good with that. They have this thing where they have to have somebody from our department read over the reports. They have homework, basically.
Right.
And so Brock is doing that. And he will
Okay.
be reviewing all of the reports, and then he will critique them, and then they got to turn them in Monday is what
Hey,
Levi told me.
Brock's been doing our PIO press
Yes, that
releases,
is
so
correct.
he's probably a good choice to critique their reports.
Next
right.
thing I've got, any questions on that? No, okay.
That sounds great.
Cars, update on the cars is, both Randy and I have talked to at least either Mark or Tommy about the cars. Nobody wants to get off the pot and say we're gonna get a 5th car yet, so we've ordered 4, probably by the end of the year, waiting on the equipment for those cars. I've also sent all of our emails for our total fleet to Buffy over at Ford to see what recalls we have left on our vehicles to get that taken care of. Stats, I emailed everybody the stats. Charles, did they usually email you the stats? So I apologize if I have not done that. I will start doing that.
Oh,
I
I
totally
appreciate
forgot that. That was just my fault, so I
Oh,
apologize.
I understand, no problem.
But if you want me to go over those, I can. You guys
Yeah,
have seen them?
Just read them for the record.
Okay, because, see here, I printed off the wrong one, I'm sorry. I printed off the front one, so I can't do that, so
All
I
right.
apologize.
Oh, yeah.
What's got here, we have 243 incidents, 40 arrests, 44 citations, and this is for the month of September. 206 warnings. There were 2,380 CAD calls. There were 30 accidents. 27 of those were property damage. 2 of those were personal injury. There was 1 hit and run, and we had 0 fatalities. There was overtime was 221.5 hours. Comp time was 152 hours. Mileage, total mileage for the department was 19,845 miles.
Sounds good.
Okay. Chief process, we've already went over that. I pretty much, those are the questions that I had for that. Dispatchers, me and Amanda are in the process of, she's got a few that she's looking at that have experience, and they work with our Spillman program. So
Right.
we're hoping to try to get those in there pretty quick to start filling in the vacancies that we do have for the remainder of the year. We've talked about PIO. We're getting positive feedback on the press releases.
Had really good feedback on
And we're
that.
trying to expand those. Like I talked to Danny just a little bit before the time. We haven't been putting our agenda for the commission meetings on our Facebook page and making people aware of the time and date, so we're gonna start doing that. Any suggestions on what else you would like to see in any kind of a format or anything like that? We did one, you seen the one we did where you got the information from Dustin about the break-ins and stuff like that. So we get that kind of stuff, we'd like to put that out there,
Right.
of course. But is there anything else that you guys would like to see?
Hey, while you brought it up, lock your cars, people. There's been people reporting that they've been rummaging through cars. Most of those cars are unlocked, so please make sure to lock your cars, lock your doors, take care of your stuff, and report it if something like that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So, but no, I mean, if I have any ideas, I'll certainly
Okay.
let you know.
FTO, just going over that all again, 1 per shift, the rookies on the schedule going well. The FTO is basically their reporting supervisor when they're in the FTO status, and so time off, payroll, vouchers, stuff like that. It goes through the FTO, and then if it needs to go further than that, they'll go to their supervisor or they'll go to me, whichever one, depending upon what it is.
Gotcha.
Alarms, we had an alarm at town court that only went to the upstairs fireman's administration offices, and that's all it went. Well, we finally got that fixed to where both that one and the town hall, they all ring into dispatch, and it tells you which one it is, and so there's kind of dual response. Because the firemen, they just say, we're up here, and if they got a problem, we're gonna go down there regardless if they're there. So, but now dispatch actually gets that alarm, and so now we can go ahead and dispatch officers there if needed. And I think we had one incident where we had to do that this last month. And here's one
So
thing.
some of those growing pains are getting worked out.
Yes, I think, well, and I probably told this before, when I first started, it was kind of like I was there for 8 hours and a little bit after trying to get stuff. I'm getting to the point now where in the morning I can drive around a little bit, come in, do some stuff, drive around a little bit, come in, do stuff, drive. So it's slowly, I think we're moving in and we're getting comfortable now.
Gotcha.
I wanted to show this to you guys, especially you, Mr. Braun. It's something we'd like to do. It's I'm sure you heard of No Shave November. It's just a charity thing we'd like to do, and I wanted to get your opinion on the way this is readed, whether I can do a directive or we have to change the policy to be able to do that. Okay. I'll give you a copy of that also.
Thank you.
It's basically the front page is the part that I'm looking at here. There's that. There you go. And I'm looking at the first paragraph, and then here's the directive that I have, and this is a very rough draft.
Okay.
So feel free to critique that if you would like.
So this is what you would change, or just your directive? I got you.
This is the directive, and what I'm looking at there, it says the chief of police shall retain authority as to what uniform and/or equipment is authorized. Would that cover the grooming standards, Mr. Braun? Since that is part of that policy.
Now, I've not seen this before, obviously.
Exactly.
So you are talking about just what's going to take place in November?
Yeah, it's a temporary suspension of the normal policy to raise money for charity. Is that
Correct.
right? Yeah. How does it raise money?
The officers basically would pay to either not shave or, as in Lindsay's case, wear a colored t-shirt with a matching headband.
Okay, so it's inclusive.
I think your directive is sufficient to handle this situation since it's not a permanent change. It's only a temporary for a special cause. I think there's enough argument there to say that this is just a special event and it's not your intent to change the SOP.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think that's good enough.
The only thing on that directive that probably will change is we don't know what charity we want to designate as for our cause this
All
month.
right, you had it narrowed down to a couple, like,
Yeah. We were thinking about our shop with the cop, but I talked to Mr. Mathis, who kind of runs that. He says there's totally sufficient money
Yeah,
in
they're
there if we
good there,
want to do something,
right?
so we can
So-
do something else.
All right.
I'd like to, some would like to do a local charity, some would like to go along with like prostate cancer, breast cancer, one of those type of things. And I think originally No Shave November was for prostate cancer for,
yeah, right,
men.
And I
right.
don't think your choice of charity affects
Right,
the
right, right, right.
permanent policy, or does it require another SOP?
Okay, thank you for your comment on that.
Ernie, you got any
Appreciate that.
thoughts on that? You got any problems with it?
No, I don't have any problem. I think it's a good cause.
Same?
I think I asked Lieutenant Irvin if it would continue after November or there would be clean shaven.
This would be on November only.
I think he told.
Yeah, it's November only. It's just a temporary suspension just to raise money for charity, and then everything goes back to as it currently is.
Everybody
I
would
think
be
it's a good
clean
idea.
saving in December.
Yep. Clean shave December.
Clean shave December, that would be the model for that, yeah.
I'm good with it. I don't
No,
have a problem with it. And it sounds like
absolutely.
you've got the authority to do it, Kevin, so, I think we're all okay with that. Anything that
Any
helps,
suggestions to that from what you've read on the directive?
not right now, maybe next year, we'll see if the public wants to outbid the officers and make them shave. Raise some more money that way or something, I don't know, but we'll see how it goes this year, and then, we'll go with it.
The next thing I've got is on door 8 and the bookend of the Sally Port. We've fixed that to where for outside agencies that don't have our key fobs and stuff like that, dispatch can now unlock those doors so they can get in and get to the chemical breath test unit and whatever else they would need.
Right.
But they'll have access to the squadron.
Okay, so we got
Outside
that
agencies.
little glitch
We got
fixed
that
as
worked.
well, good.
We had a little issue with our overhead doors, but I think we finally got that squared away. When they came in to, I guess, adjust and just get it back working, they had disconnected one of the lines, and so one of our doors wasn't working. They came back, it seems like they're working fine now.
Great.
I know, I think I've said, and again, I apologize, Mr. Braun, you will be on the distribution list next time. I sent a couple of compliments that we received. One was a domestic where Lieutenant Whitley, Sergeant Kays, and Officer Forbes were there. Said they handled it really well. I sent that out to everybody. And then today, I just got
Yeah,
one
we had
on
that
Officer
voicemail,
Egan
yeah.
and Officer Cooper. Her car got damaged over in the hospital parking lot. She couldn't say enough good things about them and how they handled it, how they helped her, and Darlene up front helped her with getting a copy of the report and all that kind of stuff. So, and this time I went ahead and sent that to the town board.
Awesome.
And I think I'm gonna start doing that, because
Yeah.
I know Dave always gives me a good response. He likes hearing about it, so I might just do it.
And
for-
while you're
for
on the
future
topic,
things.
I know I've only been here, 10 months now or whatever,
Mhm.
but we get way more compliments than we do complaints.
Yes.
And a lot of what makes Mooresville special and has that small town feel is our officers. They genuinely want to serve the public. We constantly hear stories about how they're going out of their way to actually help people or de-escalate a situation or, show a lot of empathy for what's going on. And all of our officers do that, and I just wanted to publicly state that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just so that people know. I mean, I know the general public, they don't get every compliment we get. But Fred, you've been on the commission a lot
All right.
longer than I have. I'm sure you've seen it
Absolutely.
over the years. I mean, the first responders in town, because the fire too, I mean, they
Everybody
just
loves
do a
the
fantastic job, right? And it's great, especially when you hear sometimes bad stuff in the news. Our guys, we don't hear that.
On that note, with the fire department, I've been talking to Tim Metzger, who's the chief over the fire department, and he is really, and I am too, he's really, really pro joint training. And I think once we get everything settled with who they're gonna put in here, I think he really wants to, forward that, where we can start doing some joint training and
Right.
stuff like that. Because he's been talking to me about that quite a bit.
Speaking of,
so.
are we gonna have any training on the baby box, or is that just the fire department? Or do you
That
know?
I don't know. I have some questions about the baby box as far as, is that gonna, whenever, because I'm assuming there's some sort of notification when a baby's placed in there.
Right.
Is that gonna be local, or is that gonna not be local? Because my thing is, if they're out on a run and there's nobody covering the station, who's gonna be there to answer
Right.
that alarm if there is a baby left there?
Right.
So, and maybe that may be something for down the road, but that's just one of the questions I have.
Sure.
And I've heard of no
Well,
additional
we'll
training
get
for
we'll get with
our
Dustin.
department.
I think that's probably going to be like at least our
Yeah.
dispatchers or
I would
'cause
hope.
does the fire get dispatched through here normally, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I
I
thought.
just
So
don't know
it'll
how that
probably
works.
come here.
You know, they're gonna have to have some sort of alerting system if
Yeah.
somebody's put in, or a baby's put in.
It's an
there.
automated.
Yeah, so I'm
deal,
hoping that is hardwired to go straight to our dispatch also.
I believe that's how it works, but I'm sure Dustin can tell us.
Yeah.
Excuse me, since you mentioned the fire department, I just had a quick follow-up on the No Shave November. I noticed there's a couple of references to cop/firefighter. Is the fire department, do they have the identical policy, or
No,
are they
what
under
that
a
is,
separate?
that was just reference to the shop with a cop, and it's really not shop with a cop, it's shop with a Mooresville cop or fireman, and that was the charity. Now, I might have worded it in there, because I thought about asking them about what they do it, but they can't do it due to OSHA rules with their gas masks.
No,
So they
yeah,
would not be
that makes
allowed
sense.
to participate in that, because they just couldn't, unless they find some other way of,
Right.
either visually or what.
Well, you might want to delete then the reference
Exactly.
to
Yeah, yeah.
firefighter to clarify this.
I will, and again, that's just a rough draft, I still want to clean it up just a little bit more.
And
before
who
we-
collects the money and keeps the money?
It would have to be somebody here. Should I notate that inside the directive?
You know, it would be a good idea,
Okay.
just so everybody knows who's the
I would say
protector of the
probably would
money.
be Darlene Moore, our administrative assistant. She would probably be to handle that. She handles most anything monetary or billing or anything like here at the department.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea, I think,
Good-
to
good call,
centralize
Charles.
the keeping of the money.
While we're talking about that, a question about accounting and audit or anything like that. Can you weigh in on that? 'Cause would that be something that the state would audit eventually if we did something like that?
Since this is meant for charity purposes, I think just a special fund and having your own ledger in terms of money received and
And money
money
dispersed.
spent
Right.
would be sufficient to meet any Board of Accounts
Okay.
inspection on this. You could, of course, coincide with whatever the clerk treasurer would want in terms of money-keeping issues, if.
Or
if
just
need
documentation
be.
sent to
Well,
them?
you
Yeah.
can probably check with them because they do funds
Yeah.
like that all the time. They did one for the Mooresville Bell or whatever
Oh,
last year.
that is
so-
true. They did do that, yeah.
So
Mhm.
that may be a good place to do it, just so it's
I'll
all
do that. I'll
over
talk to
board.
Tammy
Yeah.
and Darlene.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
thank you.
We did the compliments, new equipment. Got a new Xerox copier for the squad room, that way they can do multiple copies, and basically, they're not gonna do a lot of printing with it, all it is to make digital copies for evidentiary in their case reports. Because with the printers they have now, they can only do one, then they gotta click it, and they gotta do the next one. So this just does multiple
got the
copies.
feeder,
It's
yeah.
got a feeder, so if you have a big thing, it just creates it to a digital file.
We've
and-
made it into the 21st century.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
neat.
So, and they love it over there. You've seen the pedestal sign that we got
Yep.
tonight, so, and then we also got a big bulletin board, a lockable bulletin board, so we can start putting the agendas, any kind of alerts, or any kind of tips or anything like that we can put in it.
Gotcha.
The special events that are coming up, we got the Halloween hike, which is coming up on Halloween night. That's from 6 to 9. A couple of reserves are already scheduled to go out there and do that. Brent says they never have any issues, so he's not expecting any issues. I can't remember Mike's name. Do you know Mike, who does the Constable Antiques right downtown? He's kind of the head guy running, getting everything ready for Victorian Christmas and everything. They're doing 2 days this year. They're
Right,
doing
I heard that-
Friday-
I heard that
Yeah,
on council
they
meeting,
did it
yeah.
in town where they're doing a Friday night Christmas tree lighting, and they're gonna go ahead and close down all four corners this year, because they had a lot of people last year, so they just wanna close it all down. So that'll be from 5 to 9, and then Saturday, the usual, will be from 9 to 5 o'clock during the day on Saturday.
Gotcha.
And of course, we'll get some people out for that and everything. I know you guys seen, PRO, we did our little tour with the preschools from Waverly.
Yeah.
That was real well. We could not have done that at the other building.
Right.
There was like 20 to 25 kids the first time. And this is including their parents, because I think everyone brought a parent. And then we did like 30 with parents the second, the second time there was a tour. And they had enough room where I could get them in here, talk to them a little bit. They could sit in the squad room, and they could sit in dispatch, and the dispatcher talked to them about 911 and stuff like that.
Yeah, this training
We
room.
could not have done that in the other building, because there was just,
not
we
enough
couldn't have
room.
fit them. There was just
Right.
no room whatsoever. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah, this training room, I look for it to get used quite a
Well,
bit.
like I said, we've used it for the prosecutors meeting training. We did a couple of critical incident debriefs, and they're gonna do another critical incident debrief here Monday night for the shooting out on Kitchen Road. So it's nice that they're getting, that they have a place they can use.
Yep.
And they're appreciative of that. I know, I don't have one of these for everybody, but I think I emailed everybody about the Christmas party, which is gonna be Wednesday, December 18th. I've already been talking to Brent Worth. We're gonna have reserves come up and work the road, and Amanda's getting with Scotty to try to get a dispatcher so everybody can attend the Christmas party. And that's already been catered, and the site's been paid for by Mark Bailey's wife, Cassie. She's been phenomenal. She said, "We've got it all taken care of. I want to do this." I'm like, "Okay," and she did. And the only last thing is, I'm going to be on vacation next week. Randy said he would field any calls during the day that needed, and so I think we're covered on
All
that.
right, so you're on vacation, Randy's in charge. Okay.
That's right. And I'm done.
All right, Charles, you got anything?
I have nothing further to add.
All right. The only thing I had under new business, unless you got something to add, Fred,
Nope.
is I was looking at the press releases we put out, and what did I do with it? Where's
I know you had one out here.
I sure did.
Well, that's the other stuff. I know you had one.
I know. I lost my
Here.
agenda, Fred.
There's one on the agenda.
Thank you.
Did you do
That's
a
what I was looking
formal?
for. Yeah. So our current mission statement, which I guess is part of the SOP, I checked with Charles on that too. I just wanted to make a couple small changes, and it's not anything major. We're not changing the content in any way. I'm simply fixing some verbiage, and I'll read it out loud for the record. The mission of the Mooresville Police Department, this is what it currently is. The mission of the Mooresville Police Department is to affirmatively protect life and public-private property under the law with full respect for human dignity and according to the biggest standard of professional skill, ethics, and accountability. My proposed change would be, the mission of the Mooresville Police Department is to affirmatively protect life and property, both public and private, in accordance with the law, period. Doing so with full respect for human dignity while adhering to the highest standards of professionalism, ethics, and accountability. It's just a grammatical change. I don't want to change any of the content of it, but I noticed we were using it on our press releases.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to just clean it up a little
That
bit.
biggest kind of like,
It kind of jumped out, right? Ernie, did you get a chance to look it over? Do you have any thoughts?
I read it and I concur. It's a good rewrite.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
All right, well, I'll second, and that's, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, there we go, we'll just accept it as written here on the agenda, so leave that with you.
Thank you.
I had it right in front of me, I'm just blind apparently.
you got a whole stack over there.
Yep, and I think that's it, unless you got anything else, Kevin.
I cannot think of anything else. Any comments from the gallery?
Anything? All right. Charles, anything else? Ernie? Anybody, anything?
The meeting for the chief thing is the 4:00 next Wednesday.
Wednesday,
In
yep.
what location? What
Good,
location?
good question. Do we want to do that upstairs in the conference room? Can we get a phone in there, or,
We could get a phone in there, that's not a problem.
okay. You want to do that, Fred?
That's
Or-
fine with me.
We'll do it upstairs in the conference room where we had the meeting last time, Ernie, and we'll get a phone in there so we can conference call them, and
And you're thinking at what time?
Very good.
it'll be at 4:00.
4 o'clock. So,
Wednesday,
Very
the,
good.
what is that, 23rd?
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll see if Randy can stay over to make sure everything's set up for you guys. And he'll probably hang out till you're done. That way he can resecure everything. Is that cool with you guys?
That's fine, as long as it's good with him.
I'll touch base with him and make sure that's okay with
If
you.
it's an issue, let us know, and
Will do.
we'll use the government center or something like that if we need to, right? Because I want to make sure everything stays secure, obviously.
And let me know if there's anything special you need in the room other than like the phone.
I think we just need a phone.
Okay.
So, all right. Ready to get out of here, Fred?
Yeah, let's do it. Are we gonna do,
He's not here, so we'll do it next month.
okay, sounds good. I make a motion
All right,
to adjourn.
then I second, and I guess we're adjourned.
We're adjourned.
Thank you, Ernie.
Sweet.
Short and sweet.
See you,
Thank you
Ernie.
very much.